Hey y'all, today I'm going to be sharing another what I pack in my husband's lunchbox video. He is a truck driver, just in case you didn't know, and I'm going to be showing 5 lunch ideas since he does work a 5-day work week. So this first lunch is going to be extremely simple. I did not plan this one out. I am just using what I have on hand. Didn't go to the grocery store for anything. I am just winging this one as I go. So for his main course, I'm going to be making him these little ham, cream cheese, and pickle tortilla roll-ups. I'm only showing myself making one, but I did make 2 of them. So it's just a burrito-sized tortilla. I spread on a thin layer of Philadelphia cream cheese, and I season that cream cheese with some Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning and black pepper. So now I'm just taking some deli ham and I'm just placing a layer of that over top of the cream cheese. I'm basically just trying to completely cover the tortilla. So now I'm going to take a Grillo's pickle spear. Those are so good. If you've never had them before, you can find them in the refrigerated section at most grocery stores. But I just put that at the end of the tortilla, tightly rolled it up, and then I just cut it into these little pinwheels. You don't even have to cut it. It would still be good if you didn't, but I just try to make it look a little bit cute because that's pretty much the only cute thing going in this box. I did get this bento box from Target. I ordered it online. I talked about it in my last husband lunchbox video, but it is super handy. We have been loving it. I try to include it in his lunches at least once a week. I just like that everything goes in one place. I don't have to worry about packing a bunch of different containers and bags, and I just know it's a lot better on him because it's going to save him some time. So anyways, I got all those pinwheels shoved in there, and then in the other large compartment, I'm going to put some classic Lay's potato chips. I think that this holds like the perfect amount of chips, and I also gave him some honeydew that I cut up. This is actually the first honeydew that I have ever bought because, I don't know, it's not a very common fruit where I live. Like, I don't know if I've ever even had it until the last few months. My dad bought one and cut it up, and I tried it and I loved it. So I'm like, I'm going to start buying those. So super good. I filled up 2 of the containers with that, and they were slippery. So I kept on dropping them into the chips, but it's all good. He don't care. I'm also going to give him some of these chocolate-covered, peanut butter-filled cookies. These are by Great Value. I actually did not buy these. My mom sent me home with these, and it's not something that I typically buy, but they are really, really good. Definitely recommend those. So I gave him 4 cookies, and then I'm just trying to fill the other 2 compartments. So I grabbed a handful of pepperoni. That has always been one of his favorite snacks. He does prefer the regular pepperoni over turkey, but again, just using what I have. And then in the last section, I'm just going to give him 2 pieces of string cheese that I just cut in half. I'm also going to throw in a Diet Pepsi. That has been his current favorite here lately. And typically I show the water in these videos, but I'm not going to for this one. He has a big case in his truck and a cooler to put it in. So just know he's got plenty of water. It is very hot out. But I wanted to show y'all the lunchbox that I'm going to put this in because I'm sure some of y'all are thinking, what lunchbox is going to hold it? We have a few different options, but this is the one we use for that specific box. We got it at Walmart and it holds a ton. We love it. Up next, he's going to be taking some leftovers from our local Mexican restaurant. So anytime that we go and visit my parents, my dad typically cooks, but if he doesn't feel like cooking, he'll order some takeout. And anytime he orders takeout, he orders a ton and he sends it home with us, which is super nice. And I always make sure to use my leftovers for the most part, and Mexican leftovers is just always good. So I gave him a whole serving of Mexican rice, and then I gave him my leftover chicken. I don't know what it's called, but I ordered, it has rice, chicken, steamed broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots with the cheese sauce, and it's always just too much chicken for me, so I saved him my chicken. I put it on top of the rice, and then we had a whole cup of queso, so I just drizzled that over the top, and I don't know many people in this world that wouldn't like that meal right there, so that is ready, and it's going to go in his electric heated lunchbox. We are currently using the Lunchies. So I pack his lunches up the night before. I get asked that a lot. All I have to do is charge this, and then It's battery powered. Like I said, I'll set the middle part in the fridge, and then all he has to do is take it out, put it in the Lunchies, and then put it in the insulated box. So anyways, moving on, I gave him a spoon, and then I never eat my tortillas that the meals come with, so I gave him that. He can make tacos if he wants to. And then I'm going to make him a quick guacamole. I really shouldn't even call it that. It's definitely not like how you make actual guacamole, but this is how he likes to eat it, and I really enjoy it too. It's something that we have pretty often. So again, a whole avocado, since I had a bunch in my fridge that needed to be used up. So I just got that split open, and I'm just getting all that spooned out. And yes, I'm doing it on a paper plate when I am in a hurry. That's just what I like to grab. And I really like to smash my avocados like on a plate versus a bowl, because it just makes it go quicker. So anyway, it's taking me a little bit to get all that scooped out. Goes quicker with a spoon, but I just didn't want to dirty up another dish. Anyways, I am going to use this whole lime. I'm going to squeeze the juice of it. And it is a key ingredient because not only does it give it the best flavor, it's also going to prevent it from turning brown so quickly. So it'll at least hold for a day that I know of. So now I'm just going to season it with a good healthy pinch of some Lawry's garlic salt, and I'll also do some black pepper, and that is it. So if you're someone that doesn't really like the traditional guacamole, I highly recommend trying it this way. I know it's more of like a smashed avocado, but again, we have it all the time. It's a staple, and we love it. So now that I got all that smashed up, I'm just going to transfer that on over to a little glass Pyrex bowl that comes with a lid, obviously, back there. And not only can he use this with some chips, which I'm going to show you in a minute, but he can also use it on his tortillas if he wants to make tacos with his chicken and rice. So a couple different ways he can use that guacamole up. Or smashed avocado, whatever you want to call it. But these are the chips that the restaurant gave us, and I'm just transferring it to a Ziploc bag because the other bag is greasy, as you can see, and also it doesn't seal. So anyways, for his little sweet treat, I made these homemade peanut butter Rice Krispie treats. They're orange because they are like the Halloween edition of the Rice Krispie cereal. I've never made them with peanut butter though, and that was really good. I guess I could have filmed that and included it in this video, but I guess I just didn't think anybody would want to see it. I don't know. But I gave him a big one, and I just put it in this little snack size Ziploc bag. And then to go along with it, I'm going to give him a banana because anytime I pack him something peanut butter, I feel like a banana has to go with it. And he's also going to get one of these Dole pineapple juices. Anytime we go to Costco, we like to pick up a big case of those. I came across this buffalo chicken flavored pasta by Knorr at the grocery store. I honestly don't remember which one, but I probably got it at Walmart. But it caught my attention. I had never seen it before, and we love like buffalo anything. So I'm just cooking up that package. I'm following the directions on the back. You just cook the pasta in the milk, water, butter, and just cooked for like 8 minutes, and then takes a few minutes to thicken up. I did have a little bit of this Monterey Jack cheese in my fridge that I needed to use up anyway, so I just threw what was left on in there, and it melted perfectly into the sauce, which is always nice. And although Josh does love buffalo flavored stuff, he is a lot more sensitive to spice than I am, so that cheese was a good way to kind of tone down that spice level a little bit. But here's what it looks like as soon as it's done. Obviously, it'll thicken up more as it sits, but I did dump all of that into his little container minus one bite because I had to give it a try since I had never had it, and we both really liked it. I would definitely repurchase it. So I'm also going to cook up some chicken to put in it. So I just have a little skillet out. I'm heating up some olive oil. And this is some boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I cut up a bunch for a dinner like the previous night, and it was just too much chicken for what I needed. So I just decided to reserve some, and I knew that I wanted to use it for Josh's lunchbox. So threw it in my skillet, and I'm using this garlic, ranch, and chive seasoning. I've had this stuff forever. I don't even know if they still make it anymore, but I used the last bit of that. It was really good. I hope they didn't stop making it. But since there wasn't much of that, I added some garlic salt. I also went in with some paprika, mainly for color. And I'm also doing some black pepper. So I'm just going to go in and give that a really good stir. That way I know that every inch of that chicken is completely seasoned. And then once I get it looking the way that I like, I will spread it back out into an even layer. I'll leave it alone for a few minutes so it can start to get some color to it. And then I'll go in and start stirring it until it is fully cooked through. So I'm going to add all of that on top of the pasta. I feel like it ended up being the perfect amount. So now he has a really quick and good cheesy buffalo chicken pasta. I, of course, included a fork. And then in this little side container, I'm going to give him a couple kiwis that I went ahead and peeled and sliced. He loves kiwis. I really need to buy them more often. And I feel a little silly for this, even though I know I shouldn't, because you don't know until you know. But I used to buy kiwis all the time, and I'd leave them sitting out on the counter and they would go bad so quick. But I just recently discovered that just like with an avocado, you need to let it ripen on the counter and then you stick it in the fridge and it will preserve them for a good amount of time. So I'm glad I know it now. I came across these apple cinnamon donut sticks. Again, they are new as well. These are so good with coffee. That's how I like it, but he's not a coffee drinker. But I did give him one of those. And then this is kind of random, but I gave him a little baggie of these dill pickle sunflower seeds. We've had these for a bit, and I'm just trying to work through like what's in our pantry and freezer. So send him off with those, and can't forget the can of Diet Pepsi. Up next, I'm going to make him a little mini ravioli lasagna. I've had this in the back of my mind for a while now to make for him, and I finally made it happen. I used to make this for dinner a lot years ago when our kids were tiny. They always loved it, and the only difference is I would use ricotta in the dinner version, but I didn't have any. And if you follow me on YouTube long enough, you've probably even seen me make it. But this is my first time doing like a lunch size version of it. So I cooked up a pound of ground beef. I seasoned the meat with salt, pepper, onion, and garlic powder. I drained the grease once it was fully cooked, and then I added in this whole jar of the ragu spaghetti sauce. And of course, I added a little bit of water to that jar to get every little bit of that out. And then I just let that simmer for I don't know, 10-15 minutes, something like that. Very simple. And obviously, I'm not going to use all of this for his lunch. I use what I need, and then I store the rest in the fridge to use for other things. So I picked up this frozen cheese ravioli from the dollar store up the road, and I really liked it. They're mini, they're round, and it fit perfectly in the dish that I was using. And you cook it from frozen, whether you're doing the dinner version in the oven, or if you have any sort of electric lunchbox, put it in there frozen, it will cook perfectly. I'm also going to be using some shredded mozzarella cheese and some shredded Parmesan cheese, and I am just going to layer it up. Again, I did prepare this the day before, so once that cooled down a little bit more, I went ahead and stored that in the fridge, and then when he wants it, he gets to heat it up, and he did tell me that he really, really enjoyed it. So I'm glad that was a win. So he's got his fork, and then I'm also going to give him a little side salad. I always seem to put it in this little rectangle Pyrex dish. It just seems to work the best, but it's the Taylor Farms Pizza Ranch chopped salad. I've bought this before a couple of times and he really likes it. I know the flavors will go good with the ravioli lasagna, so that's why I picked it. And I'm going to go ahead and dump it out, kind of smooth that out a little bit. Just doing it this way makes it go smoother for him, so I don't mind to do it. And all the little packages it comes with, I'm just going to lay it on top. I don't want anything to get soggy. I'm also going to give him a combination of green grapes and some strawberries. That fruit had already been washed and prepped in the fridge, and it just needed to be used up. So gave him the last of that. And then lastly, I am going to give him a chocolate Twinkie. He picked up a box of these from somewhere. I don't even know. I'm not the biggest fan of Twinkies personally, but the chocolate ones are all right. And then you already know, Diet Pepsi. Lastly, I am going to make Josh one of his absolute favorites. This is one of his favorite lunches to take to work, and that is just a classic tuna salad. Now, I'm about to turn 31 in about a week, and I have never in my life tried tuna. I'm sure I probably would like it. Like, I love chicken salad, egg salad, stuff like that, but I cannot get past the smell of tuna. But again, it's one of his favorites, so I try to make it somewhat often. So I'm going to show you exactly how he likes it. So I got 2 cans of tuna in here that I did drain. I seasoned it with some salt and black pepper, and then I just break it up with a fork a little bit before I start adding stuff to it. So I did hard boil 2 eggs, and I just mashed it up with a fork, added it on in there. Why I didn't use the same fork as I used as the tuna, I don't know. I wasn't thinking, but you're definitely going to need some mayo. We typically do Duke's or Hellman's, but I've just been buying what's on sale lately. And this week it was the Kraft. And that is a third runner-up for us. The Kraft is pretty good. So I did 2 big spoonfuls of that. You really don't need that much mayonnaise, but Josh is a big mayo guy. He likes extra mayo on everything. So I do tend to add a lot. I do about a big heaping tablespoon, I'd say, of mustard. I also do a big spoonful of dill pickle relish. We don't do the sweet stuff. And then lastly, I just do a little bit of onion powder. So that is it ingredient wise. So I'm just going to get that mixed together real good. And it's going to look a little bit soupy because of that extra mayo that I added. But since I am doing it the day before, it's going to have like 24 hours or so to kind of for that tuna to soak it up, and it'll be the perfect consistency once he goes to eat it. But this is exactly how he likes to eat it. And I am going to go in and add a little extra black pepper. I could just tell by looking at it that it needed it. And I can imagine if I was working out in this extreme heat that a lunch like this would just be the most perfect thing to cool you down. It's probably why he likes it so good. But that's it. That's the tuna salad. He likes this on either like bread, light bread, sub bread, doesn't matter, or crackers. And this particular day, he did want it with the crackers. And let me put y'all on these. These are the multigrain crackers by Great Value. These are so good. This is something that I would not typically buy. It's something I would probably look over at the grocery store. I had never even seen them, and I'm sure they've been around for years. But my parents buy these, so they are always at my parents' house. And I tried them one day with, I think, some like cheese or something like that, and I was instantly hooked. I like these better than like the name brand club crackers. They are just the perfect little cracker. So anyways, these were already open, so I did go ahead and move them on over to a Ziploc bag so they ain't going to go flying everywhere or get stale or anything like that. But that right there is a meal in itself for Josh. So anyways, to go along with it, I'm also going to give him some of these purple grapes. I gave him quite a few. He actually did end up sending about half of those home, and he doesn't do that very often, but some of those did come back home. But lastly, I am going to include a honey bun for his dessert. And I did switch up the drink this day. I gave him a L8 to wash it all down. And that is going to wrap up this video. That's all I got for you today. I feel like all the ideas in this video were simple enough for pretty much anyone to make. And I truly do hope that it was helpful for anyone out there who is needing some different lunchbox ideas. I really do try to keep it simple and just give you our honest opinions. But if you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have the best week, and I'll see y'all on my next one.